Ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls, you are watching yet another episode of Lima Shenanigans of 1977. It's Friday night, and you know what that means. It's time for your WWE, SmackDown, and NXT Level Up Event Center Wrestling Report. And now here's the man to give you that report, Mr. Eric M. Lima.
Thank you very much, Mr. Announcer, sir. Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of Lima Shenanigans of 1977, episode 1476 of the show. Going to get going because I know Clash of the Castle will be on very, very soon. So right now we're going to, I got to catch up some wrestling reports, and that's what I decided to do. And I did watch SmackDown, but not at the time that it was actually on, because it's in Scotland, the time zones are different, so they aired SmackDown earlier in the afternoon. In fact, I watched it on my computer instead of watching it on TV, because we had many more events. We had TNA Against All Odds, which happened last night as well. I'll report that as well. And not only that, Not only that, I decided to check out the spoilers on NXT Level Up. That way I can, because there's a lot of stuff going on, and I don't want to have me watch so many things at one time. I know I like to multitask, but it is what it is. So I figured I would talk. This is the last page, so I've used up all this book. I'm going to use a new one. SmackDown NXT Level Up from last night. Street Profits. Oh, actually, no. Wait, hold up. I think it. All right. There we go. To start off with women's action, Naomi, accompanied by the women's champ Bayley, let's try that again. Naomi, accompanied by the women's champ Bayley, was taken on Chelsea Green, who resembles Pauline from Donkey Kong. Remember that and bear that in mind. Because I look at Chelsea Green, she looks like Pauline from Donkey Kong. Anyway, Chelsea Green addresses Bayley and Naomi. And Naomi did end up winning the matchup. And Baron Corbin was talking to Goldust, thanking him for a second chance. And I went on NXT, got my issue straightened out. I'm glad you gave me a second chance. And then Legado del Fantasma interrupts Corbin and all this. And then Corbin goes, "You're fined, but you're fined. So, but you get a fine. You're being fined." So they had their matchup. So Santos Escobar going up against Apollo Crews. Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair addresses the women's triple threat women's tag team title match. Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler, and the hometown and the home country girls, native Scottish wrestlers Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, saying they'll be the ones to beat them with the belts. And the Grayson Waller effect, they had to guess DIY. And it looks like DIY is trying to strike a wedge between Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. And as a result, both teams were fighting it out. And then Kevin Owens kind of sat by himself thinking about the bloodline and all that. And Street Profits goes, "Hey, we got your back. We got your back," and Kevin Owens was very happy about that. And then Grayson Waller was trying to talk to Austin Theory and said, "Look, at DIY is trying to drive a wedge between us." I think Grayson Waller's mouth is going to be overriding his brain a little bit, and it's going to get him in trouble. And I think Austin Theory is going to see the light. And once dudes, it'll be A-Town down on Grayson Waller. Meanwhile, Naomi Bayley were talking. Blair Davenport interrupts them. Will we see Blair Davenport in title contention down the road? Who knows for sure. But then Chelsea Green interrupts Bayley and Naomi, and then Piper Niven just basically blindsided them, knocking them both out. How's Bayley going to be feeling tonight after what happened last night? Well, we shall see and find out. Apollo Crews and Santos Escobar went one-on-one. It was a heck of a matchup. But Baron Corbin came out to beat up on Berto and Angel after the disrespect that they shown him. But then Elektra Lopez gets involved in the matchup, and the referee was distracted by Baron Corbin beating up Angel and Humberto once again, and then Elektra Lopez helped Santos Escobar pick up the victory over Apollo Crews. Meanwhile, Andrade, the new WWE Speed Champion, Cedric Alexander and Shante Diaz and Pretty Deadly were in attendance on SmackDown. Cody Rhodes addresses the glass crowd and AJ Styles. Styles in the OC interrupts Rhodes, and in fact, Rhodes was trying to say, "Oh, Cody was a quitter. That he quit. That he had he was part of these other companies, but he quit on." No, he said, "No, I didn't quit on them. If I'd bet on myself, I never quit." So, bless you. Anyways, that's a loud sneeze. Anyways, that was my sister. Sorry about that. Captain Kelly interviewed the Street Profits and BFAB, saying that you being having Kevin Owens back, you're in the crosshairs of the Bloodline business, and they didn't care. Then the Tongans, Tama Tonga and Tongaloa, were attacking the Profits, and then Kevin Owens just saw what happened, and he tried to go after Solo Sikoa. They're holding them back. Baszler and Stark were addressing the women's tag team title triple threat matchup, and say they're going to win the belts. Michin went one-on-one with Nia Jax, and Michin was kind of in control until Tiffany Stratton was on commentary. She stood up, distracted Michin, threw water on Michin, and Nia Jax capitalized on the situation and hit her with the Annihilator. 1, 2, 3. That was Nia Jax picks up the victory, and looks like Michin is. Looks like Tiffany Stratton's made an enemy for life in Michin. Meanwhile, Jackie Redmond interviewed Kevin Owens about what happened to Street Fights. Listen, I'm afraid they're not going to have my back tonight, but I'm going to go after Solo Sikoa. And meanwhile, Logan Paul was at the Tetris tournament, and then one of his housemates came home and said, "Hey, your boy from LA is here." And then he just saw LA Knight lounging in the pool. And he's playing mind. He says, "You know what? You better come at me. Hey, listen, bring the United States title." And Logan Paul says, "I want you out." And LA Knight picked up his stuff and walked away. He said, "Hey, I'm just here, just having fun, chilling. I was going to chill with you, have a good time. But hey, and bring the United States title with you next time." And it's kind of shocking that LA Knight did not stay around and decided, was not in the security zone. You gotta go. Hey, no problem. So that's really funny. And Carmelo Hayes addresses that whole situation, and he says, "I'm going to be mellow in the bank." That means he's trying to go for money in the bank. Nick Aldis tells Sikoa that the Tongans are banned from ringside for what happened. And then Sikoa warns Paul Heyman, "If I lose this match, I'm coming after you." Roman never ever threatened Paul Heyman like that. So Sikoa, and I'll tell you one thing. So Jackie Redmond decided to interview Alba Fire and Isla Dawn in front of the crowd, and Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, who are from Scotland, say they'll be determined. And Alba Fire, well, she was putting on a brave face, and I gotta respect her for that, But I think if you hear her talk, a little bit of emotion in her voice, and she knows what's at stake here. She knows what's been going on, and it's just her and Alba Fire are determined to walk out of Scotland. Walk out their home country, the new women's tag team champions. Meanwhile, Solo Sikoa and Kevin Owens went one-on-one. And there was a couple of times where Kevin Owens had Sikoa beat, but Paul Heyman got involved during the matchup. And there was a couple, and Kevin Owens was distracted with Paul Heyman until Solo Sikoa took advantage of the situation. A couple Samoan spikes later, Sikoa wins the matchup. But then as the Tongans came back out to beat up on KO, and since the Street Profits weren't unavailable, Randy Orton made his return after a little bit of an injury to help out Kevin Owens. So that is a huge, huge deal. NXT Level Up. Stax and Luca Crucifino, representing the family, went up against Jasper Troy and Shiloh Hill, and the D'Angelo family won that matchup. Meanwhile, Kendall Gray and Izzy Dane fought, and Kendall Gray picked up the victory. Dane did attack Gray afterwards, and Carly Bright made the save. In the main event of NXT Level Up, Andre Chase took on Lucian Price, and with Chase picking up the victory over the OTM member. So that's it. One more time, we're gonna go to the. I'm gonna go through the Clash of the Castle, PLE live event. That will be in about a couple of hours or so. And here's the deal: we're talking about the world title on the line. Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre. And I hate to say this, Damian Priest will retain. The women's title on the line: Bayley versus Nevin. It looks like I'm taking Bayley to retain. Sami Zayn and Chad Gable. For the Intercontinental title, I'm picking Sami Zayn to retain. Cody Rhodes versus AJ Styles in an I Quit match. Cody Rhodes will win that matchup. And finally, the women's tag title on the line in a triple threat. Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill against Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler and Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. This one, I believe, in the new champions, Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, based on what happened, they could pick them as the sentimental favorites to win. I picked them to win. So, that is all the time I have on the show. Episode 1476 of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. SmackDown NXT Level Up. Plus, I make my picks and predictions for Clash of the Castle. I will see you guys later. You guys have a wonderful day. And until the next episode comes rolling around, Mr. Announcer, take us home.
That is all for today's episode. This is your announcer speaking for Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. A Big Beefy E, do it for Bob Saget Productions, and in association with a Raven Bofa Telepictures and Distribution. Thank you for watching today's episode. Tune in next time for another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. Goodbye for now.